It's all very quiet.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Somebody needs to tell us a joke. You need to stop recording, Rachel, for a little bit, so we can just tell a really rude joke, and then we can switch it back on again.
Yeah, I was going to say I only know rude jokes. I don't know clean ones.
I haven't got any clean ones. Sorry. Definitely have to stop recording.
Yeah, especially I can't tell a rude joke now that Roz is on.
Feel free.
Roz won't even stand within a metre of me. She's scared of me. Yeah.
See how many people join for a few minutes. How's Liverpool today?
Oh, Sarah's gone. Obviously not very well. Decided to go.
No, we're here. It's just I've turned the camera off because it kept freezing.
Oh, that's all right. It's freezing down here too, to be honest with you.
Different freezing.
It's because we're in the middle of winter. Oh no, summer. Look, Adriana's got a big thick coat on. She's got a winter coat on.
Adriana, you look like you're travelling on an airport. You're on a train.
Yeah, it looks like Adriana's on a train, no? You on a train, Adriana?
Yes, I am.
You on a train? Do you want to tell us all that you love us all?
What would you like to know?
You don't want to say I love you or anything like that whilst you're on the train with lots of people?
I'll talk when she's back tomorrow morning. She's possible. Filter. Oh, you mean the air conditioning? Yeah. Well, do you need someone to clean it? Yeah, I think somebody else.
Yeah, we can do that. It's just a hoover. We just need to hoover in. Do you mean tomorrow or?
A few more.
Hi, Jodie. Anna.
You're quite quiet, actually,
Hello.
Rachel.
Am I? I'll try.
Yeah. Compared to the other voices.
Any better?
A little bit.
Good evening, Joji. We're just waiting to see if anyone else joins before we start.
Yeah.
I think. Just give it a minute or two. Sorry, hold on.
Dog alert.
We go at 5 past.
Lockie didn't want to join us then, Roz.
I've locked him out.
You locked him out.
He would literally be jumping up at us.
Yeah, look.
Along with Kevin, I've locked him out too.
I've done the same with James, Grace and Ziggy. You're all right, Roz.
Have you? You've sent them away.
I'm really struggling to hear you, Rachel. I don't know if anybody else is.
Yeah, you sounded just a little bit tinny for some reason, as if you're going through like a weird speaker.
Mic's on. It's on fully. I need to turn on spatial audio. Yes, I think. Is that any better?
A little bit.
Sing us a song and we'll tell you if it's better.
Sing you a song?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tell me one and I'll sing it.
Any
Wham rap.
suggestions?
What?
Wham rap. You must know that one,
Oh
Rachel.
my lord! I'll have to rap. Can't do that. Right. I've got it up as high as possible. So I'll just shout. Is
Yeah.
that any better?
Yeah.
What's that? What did you say?
Haha. Very good. Right, on that note, I think we'll start.
Okay.
Yes.
Because Bev's getting a bit stir crazy.
Exactly. I agree. As if I'm not already every day.
Hello, everybody. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm Rachel de Cruz. I'm the Business Support Manager, and welcome to Z Hotels FAQ sessions. We're recording the session just so that we can share it on Teams. And the questions have been submitted by Teams in advance for the exec to answer. Please feel free to pop any questions in the chat, and if appropriate, we'll pick it up during the course. Otherwise, we'll do it at the end. And so to begin, the first question goes to Bev. Will Z Hotels open new hotels in the near future, apart from the one in Leicester Square?
Well, it's our intention to keep building, obviously. But only if it's appropriate. So if the economics work, then we will build them. If they don't work, then obviously we'll resist. We ideally would like to be opening kind of 3 hotels, say every 2 years or so, something like that. But obviously to do that, we need to find the right locations and also be able to put together the right finance. And obviously finance is probably the hardest thing to put together at this point in time. And as you already touched on, Rachel, Leicester Square will open this year. It will open in December at the end of the year, partially open, I should say. And it'll probably be finished in April next year completely. So that'll be 95 rooms in total.
Great. And in terms of expansion, can we expect any Z Hotels in any other countries other than UK?
Sadly not, no. We don't want to build any outside of the UK. It's too complicated, too risky. So we only kind of build where we know what we're doing, and so they'll only be in the UK for now.
Okay. And are we still looking for new business partners?
No, not at all. No, finish that process.
Great. And then will Z Hotels create a new or different concept, Jill?
No, we're very happy with our concept of compact luxury, so we're going to obviously continue with that. We may consider another club or similar in central London at some stage, but not certainly at the moment. So yeah, very happy with our compact luxury.
Great, thank you. And then in terms of company benefits for us, can the company give sponsorship visas for teams and interns?
Yes, we do have a visa license, so yes, we can actually provide them a visa, working visa, but it depends very much on the role, position, the visa that they're currently working on. If they want to apply, they can obviously apply to Sue or I. The policy is also on Z Connect, should anybody want to have a look at it. And should the visa be accepted, then we would pay for half of the visa, and the remaining 50% would need to be paid by the team member. However, should the team member need funding, the company would be prepared to provide a loan which would need to be repaid up to 12 months after they've been granted the loan.
Great, thanks, Ros. And just this is 2 questions, Bev. Can all staff at Z Hotels get a pay rise? And will there be a pay rise this business year?
Well, the first part is, so long as you pass your probation, you're in theory to receive a pay rise. As to whether we do a pay rise this year, at this point in time, we haven't decided. Ordinarily, we have historically done pay rises in October, and certainly for the last 3 years, we've done them in October. But this year, it just depends, where everything is at the point in time in October. Obviously, at this point in time. We're expecting to have a new government. Interest rates are still significantly high, and the economy is not in the best of places. So it just depends how things are by the time we get to October. So I wouldn't say yes or no. It would have to be something that we would decide nearer the time.
Okay, thank you. And do you think in the future there will be any bonuses based on performance?
Very possibly. It was something pre-COVID we were looking to introduce, but obviously COVID killed that. And we realistically need the economy to be in a better place before we would consider performance-based bonuses. But it's certainly something that we potentially one day could consider.
Okay. And then on career development, Ros, with the new Hotel Leicester Square coming on board, will the company consider creating new roles?
It's very much dependent on the properties that we develop. This may impact on the structure, but we'll decide that once we determine which properties come online. Leicester Square is a copy of our existing properties, so we would expect it to have the same structure as what we've currently got. The property will be approximately 95 bedrooms with a cafe in the basement.
Great, thank you. And then similarly, Jill, is the company thinking of creating other clusters?
To Ros's
Jill.
response, yeah, it depends on which properties we develop. This will impact the structure, so we'll only decide once we've actually determined what we develop. We've obviously got Leicester Square, as we just discussed, coming on stream. Quite how we're going to organise that, whether it's area or cluster, is TBA. But if it relates to the question, we weren't sure whether the question related to like cluster similar to Strand, Trafalgar, and Covent Garden with cluster managers, cluster duty managers. Probably not, because we see that still as our training ground for future managers.
Great, thank you. Then operations, this one's for you, Bethan. It was a question about 2-month rotas and which way the company can benefit from having 2-month rotas, and when can the teams provide feedback about the new rotas to the senior team?
The reason we actually decided to do the rotas in advance followed on from a project from the Future Leader Programme, as to see how we could actually improve the communication, the consistency and fairness, as well as provide team members with more notice when they're on shift. The Future Leader team canvassed options from team members across the whole portfolio. I proposed several options to which the current 4-week rota was created. The idea was born of supporting both the business as well as team members. So, for example, by having consistency in shift times and providing notice for team members to plan their lives more effectively. So after we post the next month rotas, then we will send out a questionnaire asking for feedback, one for team members and another different questionnaire for the hotel managers who create the rotas. And then this feedback will be reviewed by the executive team. As any change, it takes some time to get used to, and therefore we have waited a couple of months to embed the monthly rotas so we can receive more accurate feedback.
Great, thanks, Bethan. And I think Jill wanted to add to that, that as always, it's to remember really that it's impossible to please all the people all the time, but we do our best to try and do that. And the next question, Bethan, is why did we reduce the number of shifts per day in each property?
The number of shifts per day hasn't actually changed. The number has been agreed with each individual area hotel manager. The number of people on shift does differ, however, property to property, which depends on the number of bedrooms and also the food and beverage sales. So since implementing the 0-hour contract, shifts were being given which were unnecessary. Some hotels had a lot of team members on shift when the hotel was only busy during breakfast, for example. The 0-hour contracts were employed to help cover holidays, sickness, and assist on weekends, not as an extra headcount for team members. So team members need to remind themselves to book holidays in advance. When no one is on holiday, there are too many team members working. And then at other times, team members are short as everyone wants to go on holidays at the same time.
Great, thanks. And then there was a question from Gloucester Place. Why are the late shifts changed to finish at 10:30 p.m. when it's not busy at that time?
So as part of the rota implementation project, we introduced this shift in all hotels to be consistent across the group. And the idea was to support the night teams, as well as to try and push food and beverage sales in the evening. And whilst we all appreciate not everyone feels the benefit of some of the shift patterns, it is also noted that other team members have commented about having the benefit of longer overlap between late and night shifts.
And then the last one on this is, why can we only have one shift swap per month?
Okay, so the rotas are now being published a month in advance, so the team members can plan their social lives. So the rota project is new, and this will be reviewed later this summer after receiving the feedback from the questionnaires.
Great, thank you. And just before we move on to membership, just hello to everybody else that's joined the call. The call is being recorded as well, so if you've missed the beginning, you can always catch up a bit later as well. But we're just moving on to membership. If you do have a question at any point, please do put it in the chat and we'll pick those up either during the course of the call or at the end. So I'm just going to move on to membership, and this one's to Jill. Is the company thinking to create new benefits for members or higher discounts for them?
Reference new benefits. I mean, we have introduced, or we've got several benefits, and we've introduced a few new ones most recently, including the tea and coffee throughout the day. On occasion, via our mailing lists, we do for members, we do 15% discount on the bookings. You'll be aware, so they're like one-off promotions. So we may do that from time to time, but we don't plan to have that as a consistently offered higher level discount. In addition, we've also got our future leader teams. For some of you that maybe aren't aware, we have some training that goes for our future leaders. And at the end of that, there's a project, and they go into project groups. And one of the projects is for them to look at the benefits for members and to get some feedback. So that's Josie, James from Trafalgar, Sarah, who's on the call, and Sergio from Piccadilly. So if you do have any ideas or you want to throw anything into the ring, please do contact them or pass it on to Rachel and she'll pass it on to them.
Great, thank you. And then another question was, why are we doing cheese and wine instead of other things?
Yeah, cheese and wine complimentary was so successful pre-pandemic. We often had requests from members to bring this back. So that's why we did reintroduce the offer. And also we see it as, a great opportunity for team members to engage with our guests. We are always open for other ideas as well, but if you have anything else, let us know. But it really is part of our drive to further enhance customer service and engagement.
Brilliant. And have you ever thought about adding benefits for members provided by other companies like restaurants, gym memberships, vouchers from other shops, retailers, etc.?
Yeah, in principle, it sounds really good, and the collaborations are always possible. But the challenge is the administration and then ensuring the delivery from the third party. You obviously need to be in a really good partnership, as well as what the take up from members might be. So not something that we're planning to do. Maybe we might do it in the future. At this stage, it's not in the short term plan.
Thank you. And then there's a question on uniform, Ros. Is there going to be any comfortable uniform provided for housekeeping supervisors?
Well, we actually considered uniform as a whole as a part of the first cultural survey. We obviously canvassed opinions about what people might actually want, and comfort was certainly an area that was important to many people. We have sourced a new uniform supplier, and initially we will trial a GSA and DM uniform in Strand and Covent Garden. If the trial is successful, we could certainly consider housekeeping and other areas for uniform.
Great, thank you. And then Ros, this is for you as well. When are we having external social events?
As we did last year, Justina's obviously been working on lots of Z Key dates, the Z Key date group, and we've got lots of things kind of planned. Obviously, alongside the things that we already do, the hike, softball, obviously we just had the Height Seven Sisters yesterday. We're planning things such as theatre visits, hotel team treasure hunt. We're planning on taking part in the hospitality festival, and also we will also conduct the Halloween party, which we've done obviously in other years. Also along, we've also got the Christmas parties, and we've already got dates in the diary for them. However, the big next event is obviously the Z Summer Family event, which is obviously on the 21st at Richmond Athletics Association. I'm sure you've all seen the information. We'll have a similar format to last year. It's a knockout where we have the inflatable activities, barbecue, raffle, bandioki sing off. So lots to kind of to do. We have got hotel coordinators in each of the properties who are actually drawn up the list of attendees and also dietary requirements. So please speak to your hotel coordinator if you intend to go. We're hoping obviously there's going to be less rain last year, and we have obviously got lots of suntan lotion along with we have also bought a few ponchos as well just in case. So hopefully we've got everything covered. So it'd be great to see you all there.
Brilliant, thank you. Bev, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, just make sure that you're all there actually, and obviously, you know, the weather permitting, this year we've organised for it to be a sunny day. It's the one, instead of last year it was the one rainy day of the summer. This year it's going to be the one sunny day of the summer.
And also, you have confirmed that you're going to do, Z Hotels are going to put some money in for the raffle, so there'll be a prize for a cash prize.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely, and you definitely don't want to miss me singing a solo or Jill singing her favourite song.
Which one's that one?
I can't remember, but you certainly sang a few last year. We couldn't get you off the microphone if I remember rightly.
I Will Survive.
Oh, exactly.
In the rain.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It felt like that last year, I can tell you. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was more like row, row, row your boat.
And then just over to you, Bev, in terms of business overview and priorities for the year with projects, etc. Sure.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, obviously trading this year is pretty tough. You know, I think since the summer of last year, really, you know, we've had a couple of things that have significantly affected life in general, as well as the cost of living crisis, which is obviously still there, still very prevalent in many family households, and I'm sure it affects all of us too. But, you know, the conflict in Israel had quite a big impact, certainly on London business, as well as the Ukraine conflict sort of still carries on. So, you know, that has had a pretty bad impact overall. And that obviously coupled with inflation, you know, inflation last year hit times where it was 10% in a month as the running rate of inflation. So, you know, our revenue has been going backwards slightly, and our costs have obviously been growing. So you don't need to be Einstein to work out that revenue falling and costs going up means that you're making less in the middle. So, you know, we do, as Jill always says to everybody, every penny counts. And, you know, that is very, very much the case. So every extra room we sell, every late departure that we sell, or every extra departure we resell is extra money. You know, every extra pizza that we serve or drink or whatever is all extra money to put in the pot, if you like. So, you know, that is, you know, really, really important that we all need to be aware of. I think having said that, it is starting to get a little bit better in June. You know, the average rates are slightly better in June. Quite a few hotels are sort of level with last year in terms of average rate, or maybe showing a marginal increase over last year. So if that comes to fruition for June and July, then that would be great. I think also as well, bearing in mind that a number of properties, certainly London properties and Glasgow in particular, are really, you know, producing some amazing average rates this month. So customers are paying big prices. It's important that we make sure we deliver good service to satisfy those customers. I think in terms of priorities, we've got a few priorities. Obviously, finish Leicester Square and get it open is the number one priority. That comes ahead of everything else. But I think on top of that, we have a planning application on Trafalgar. to add 16 bedrooms and 3 new apartments on the top floor. We also have an ongoing planning application that has been in since January and still haven't got consent, but we're expecting it to come through at some point. And that is for Common Garden to convert Pastor Brown into a Z Cafe and our existing cafe to produce 8 more bedrooms at the back. So that would be an amazing addition for that property. And obviously Leicester Square has another planning application as well. Currently we have consent for 81 rooms, but we've got another application which will increase that to 95. So we're waiting for that to come through. I think Jill will talk to you a little bit more about the result of the projects that we did, but you know, there are a number of other things that we're looking to improve or focus on throughout the course of the year. So, but I'll let Jill explain those.
Yeah, what we're trying to do is keep it relatively simple and focus sort of on 4 key themes. So we've talked, as you just heard Bev talk about customer service there, just further improve customer service and to enhance team engagement, as well as ultimately that will help us to grow revenue and therefore improve profitability. And that's it. That's our simple strategy for the year. We run many training courses with regards to team engagement and customer service. And it's really important for us as a business to invest in you as a team, but also for you to commit to attending and actually embedding that training and taking what's been available to you. So, for example, we've had the Inspiring Guest Loyalty service that's been happening. We've got empowerment training that's happened with DMs and night managers. And then for this month and beyond, we've got GSAs there's a GSA empowerment sessions, which is being run by Bethan. So please do speak to your hotel manager, department head, if you're not aware of any training that's available to you, because it's really important for us to help upskill you to help obviously deliver the best possible service for our guests, which would be amazing. And then we have the Future Leader programme, which started last financial year. I've mentioned that already in terms of the project for membership. And that's part of the continued development for our management team. So from that, we've tried to, again, simplify and put sort of the less is more principle in place, whereby we want to focus on a few priorities and deliver them really well. So the projects that we're actually going to be running this year, we've got Opera Cloud, which is an upgrade to the next version of Opera, which has a different interface. We have the SharePoint project, or looking at Office 365, about how can we make better use and enhance our use of Office 365, because there's a huge amount of apps and things available through that, as well as ways in which we can improve communication. And then we've got the Z app, which has been running for a little while, but we're going to look at that and just sort of revamp that to look at the Z app and how we can look to implement something, and it'll probably be phased. You know, we'll do different stages of that. And then finally, Access People project, which is the Access People app, Salima app. So that is being communicated this week, about today. So Bethan's sort of been leading that with Joseph support and a little bit from Sue, and that hopefully will be a significant improvement on being able to book holidays, look at your rotas and everything. It's much more intuitive. It's a much nicer app. So those are the main projects that we're actually going to work on in line with those 4 key pillars of our strategy, and that's our aim.
Great, thanks, Jill. Are there any questions from anyone? Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's
Anything-
no question.
Anything you want to share? Obviously, we've got Bath on, we've got Liverpool on. I know we sometimes tend to be a bit London-centric when we're talking about a few things, but obviously you're as important and have summer parties and Christmas parties as well that we will be all attending. But is there anything you want to ask?
You got any questions? No, nothing extra that we've got.
No, nothing really. I think all questions been answered.
Okay. Thanks, Alton. So just last words from you, Bev or Jill?
Yeah, I think, listen, thanks very much for dialing in this evening, taking time out to listen to us. Make sure you come along to the summer party. And we've booked the weather especially. And that's about it, really. Keep going, keep up the good work, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks
Yeah,
so much.
See you,
thank you.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm going to stop recording anyway.
Yeah. There you go. It's now you and me.
There we go. Stop.
Yeah, you should.